Okay, today's sessions deals about vectors. Vectors are a basic building blocks for data in R. It is simpler R variable. Actually, all R variables are vectors. A vector can only consist of values in the same class. Okay, that is an important point. A vector contains values of same class. Okay, to test for vectors can be done using the function isVector function. That means we can check whether a variable is a vector or not. For that, we can use a function is.vector. Okay, in the previous slide, we can declare three variables like I, flag, and suppose. We can check that variable is vector or not. For that, we can use the function isVector function. Okay, checking example is.vector I. It returns a true. Similarly, in the case of flag and suppose, okay, it returns a true value. Okay, that means a vector is actually a variable. A variable, all variables are vectors, but it can be of same type. That is one important point in the case of vectors. Okay, and some examples are here. Okay, first I declared a variable u and it is assigned a value u is equal to c of red, yellow, blue. Okay, it creates a vector of same type, that is a string values red, yellow, blue. Okay, and next just typing eu only, it brings the value red, yellow, blue. We know we don't need to use the statement, print statement, just type the variable u, we can get the values. Okay, suppose if you want to get a particular value in a vector, we can use a square bracket in the case of array, like array. Okay, okay, for example, we have to retrieve the value red from the above list. We can use u of square bracket 1. It returns the value red, that is it returns first element in the vector. Okay, next example, we can create a vector of list 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. So we can assign v is equal to 1 colon 5. Automatically, it create a vector. It contain numbers 1 to 5. Suppose if you want to print that numbers, you just type v, then we can print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. Suppose if you want to find sum of these all numbers, just use the function sum in bracket passing that vector. It returns the value 15. Okay, next another example. Initializing another variable, w is equal to v into 2. That means v is a vector. It contains elements 1 to 5 and each element is multiplied with element 2. So our resulting vector is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That means each element in vector v is multiplied with 2. Okay. Suppose if you want to retrieve a third element of the vector w, we can use the square bracket w of 3. It returns 6. That means third element of the vector w. And next another operation, we can assign z is equal to v plus w. That means v is a vector 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and w is a vector 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 and adding these two vectors. Sum of these two vectors element by element and it returns the result 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Okay. And next another operation, that is a comparison operation. Z greater than 8 means it is a checking operation. That means each element in a vector is checked with 8. Okay, it returns 3. Is 3 greater than 8? No. So it returns false. 6 greater than 8, it returns false. 9 greater than 8, okay, it is correct, true, and also remaining all are true. That is the result. Suppose if you want to print the result, then we can use the square bracket, that is z of square bracket z greater than 8 it print the elements that is greater than 8. So we can get the result 9, 12, 15. Okay, first case only checking whether this number is greater than or greater than 8 and that be the result false or true. In second case, we can get the resultant elements. So we can use square bracket z, in square bracket z greater than 8. It returns all the values greater than 8. Okay, next another statement, z of z greater than 8 or z less than 5. That means it returns the values greater than 8 or, and this pipe symbol indicate or values greater than 8 or values less than 5. So the result will be 3, 9, 12, 15. Okay, and in this slide we can explain some of the basic vector operations. Is it clear? Okay, some basic vector operation. So simply a vector is a variable of same type. Okay. Next, arrays and matrices. Okay. In our programming, we can use a function, array of function, which can restructure a vector to an array. Okay. To create an array, we can use the function array. A two-dimensional array function is known as a matrix. Two dimension, x and y dimensions, then it is, we can say it as a matrix. Okay, our programming provides all standard metric operations such as addition, subtraction, multiplication, as well as transport all matrix function, provided we can include the package called metric calc package in our programming. Then only we can do the all matrix operation. Okay, so and suppose if you want to create an array, we can use, that means we can restructure a vector to an array, use the function array. Okay, and two-dimensional array is known as the matrix. If we want to do all matrix operations, then our programming, we can include a package called metric calc package in our programming. Okay, next is an important thing, the data frame. Okay, data frame means it's provide a structure for storing and accessing several variables of possibly different data types. Okay, in the case of a vector, it can store a data of same type. But in the case of a data frame, it can store data of different types. Okay, like structure in the case of C programming. Okay, C programming is structural pole. All different types of data can be stored in a data frame. Okay,
accept you.
Enduti?
Accept you join Janet.
One second. Okay. Continue it. Okay. Okay, data frame. A data frame provide a structure for storing and accessing several variables of possibly different data types. That means we can combine several data types into a single data frame. Okay, in the previous class, we deals about how to import a data file into an object. So we can use a function read.csv. Okay, here sales equal to read.csv and providing the path name and the CSV file also. Okay, it import all the data in yearly underscore sales.csv files into sales object, and this sales objects become a data file. Clear? And this sales file contain all types of data. That means it contain numeric data, character type data, string data, double data, all types of data. These all type of data can be incorporated into the object sales object, and this sales objects become a data frame. Okay, can carry all types of data. Suppose if you want to check whether that sales object is a data frame or not, we can use the function is.data.frame. Then we can pass that object sales and it returns the true. That means, and this sales object is a data frame, and this data frame contain all types of data. Okay. Okay, then how to access variable, that is data in a data frame. Okay, how to access variables or data from a data frame. For that, we using a notation called dollar symbol. Using dollar symbol, we can access data from a data frame. So some examples are given here. The function length in bracket specifies the data frame sales. Look at the symbol, dollar symbol, number of orders. That means it can return how many total number of orders in that sales data frame. So its value will be returns 10,000. 10,000 customers are in that data file. Okay. Okay. For retrieving each value, each data in a data frame, we can use the dollar notation symbol. The first example, we can see that how many orders in a data frame. So passing in length function, length bracket, first passing the data frame name, that is sales, then dollar symbol number of orders. So it returns the value 10,000 and it contains 10,000 number of records there. Okay, next example is dot vector in bracket sales dollar symbol custody. That means checking in that data the custody field is a vector or not. Though it returns a value true. Okay, in our sales files, some more data are there. It contains customer ID, total number of sales, number of orders, gender, etc., etc. And here checking each data of which type. So first we are checking is.vector function. We are checking that custody is a vector or not. For that we are using the function is.vector and passing the data frame sales and dollar symbol then custody. In the data frame, checking that custody is a vector or not. So it returns a value true. Similarly, we are checking next example, checking sales total is a vector or not. Again, it returns the true value. And again, number of orders. Again, it returns a true value. And in the case of gender, some difference is that it returns only a false value. Means gender is another data type. It is called as factor. In R programming, one more data type is called as factor. It can be explained in the coming slide. Okay. For all this custody, total number of sales, number of records, all are vectors except gender. Gender is another type of data. It is called as a factor. It can be explained in the next slide. Okay. Clear? Okay, but a data frame is simply a collection of all the type of data, and for accessing a particular data from a data frame, we can use a dollar symbol. That is explained over here. Next, we can use the function str function. Str function will provide a structure of a data frame. Okay, here we are using a sales data frame. If we want to get the structure of a sales data frame, we are using the function str. This function identifies integer, numeric data types, the factor variables and its levels, as well as the first few values for each variable. Well, simply this str function provides the structure of a data frame. For example, suppose if you want to display the structure of sales data, then we can use the function str in bracket. You provide the frame object, that is sales. Okay, it display like this. The output will be like this. First is displays, it is a data frame, data.frame, and contain 10,000 observation of 4 variables. It explains its structure. First line shows that it is a data frame and it contains 10,000 observations of 4 variables. Next, it displays how many variables are in our files. First variable is a custody and some few values are displayed. Okay, first few values. Okay, custody few values, and another variable is sales total and it's some few value, and its sales total's type is numeric, custody's type is int. Okay, next variable is the number of orders and its type is int. And next one is the next type is gender and its data type is factor. And its level is displayed over here, male and female. F and M indicate male or female. Okay, simply an str function which gives the structure of a data frame. Okay, here in the example, we can clearly show that the structure of our sales data. Okay. Next, we can extracting some of the data from a data frame. We can use a subsetting operation. Some examples are here. Subsetting. A subset of data frame can be retrieved through subsetting operators, and some examples are here. Okay. For example, if you want to extract 4th columns of the sales data frame, simply we can provide our data frame name sales in square bracket. Just put a comma and specify the column number only. Here doesn't specify the row because we want to extract only the 4th column. So no need to specify the row number. Row number is a vacant, so vacant space, then a comma and specify the column number only. So first example, extract the 4th column of our data frame. Okay. Next, suppose if you want to extract the gender data, so just to put sales, we are using the $symbol gender. Okay. Next, if you want to retrieve first 2 rows of the data frame, okay, 2 rows instead of column, only 2 rows. Then our sales object, sales data frame's name, sales, and in square bracket 1:2. That means it retrieves first 2 rows and doesn't specify the columns. Okay, we want only to specify 2 rows only. That is 1 column 2. Suppose if you want to retrieve first 4 rows, then 1:4. Then means it retrieve first 4 rows. No need to specify column number there. Okay. Suppose if we want to retrieve particularly first, third and 4th column, then no need to specify the row numbers. We specify the column numbers only. That is column of 1, 3, 4. It retrieves first column, third column and 4th column. Suppose if we want to retrieve the custody field and total number of sales, instead of column number, we can specify the name of the column also. That is explained in the next example. Sales in bracket, we want to extract all custody field and all sales total column. Then specify the name of the column. Simply we can specify the name of the column or column number. Both are correct. Okay. Suppose if we want to retrieve all the record whose gender is female. That is explained in the next example. And this our data frame object sales, then $symbol specifying that gender equal to female. All female records have been retrieved. Okay, these are some subsetting operations in a data frame. Okay, that means data frame contain all data. Suppose if you want some particular data, some subsetting operations can be done. Some few examples are explained over in the slide. Okay, next is the list. Okay, list can contain any type of object including other list. Okay, so a list is any type of object including any type of object. For example, housing, it is a list For creating a list, we are use the function list of. Okay, housing equal to list of on or rent. It is a list. And next, assortment. Again a list. It containing a string, a numerical value 7.5, a characters, VF, etc. Okay, so simply a list means it can hold any type of objects, any type of, including any type. Other list also can be included in a list. That is simply a list. Okay, next is a factor. Okay, as explained earlier, is a particular data type in a R programming. Factor is one of the data type in a R programming. Factors are a data object which are used to categorize the data and store it as a levels. They can store both strings and integer. Okay, for example, some particular category we are using the factors. For example, male, female, true or false. Likewise, these data we can categorize it as a factor. It can be commonly used for statistical modeling. Data in analysis is commonly used for statistical modeling. Factors are created using the function factor function. For example, if you are checking in the case of a sales data, class bracket sales dollar gender, it can retrieve, it is a factor. Okay, in the sales data, gender is a factor category. Okay, a factor is a categorical types. It is specially explained for some of the unique type of data. For example, male, female, true or false like data can be explained with the help of factor data type. Okay, a factor can be created using a function factor. In the case of our sales data, on factor type data, it is a gender. That is shown here. We can check whether gender is a factor or not. We can use the function class of sales dollar symbol gender. It retrieves, it is a factor. Gender is a factor field. Next is a contingency tables. Contingency table. Contingency tables are very useful to condense a large number of observations into smaller, easier to maintain tables. Okay, that means our data, sales data contain 10,000 observations. Suppose if you want to minimize this 10,000 observation into a small table, for that we are using a contingency table. That is condensing of data or summarizing categorical variables. For that, we are using contingency table. Okay, by contingency tables mean we can have a large number of data. Suppose if you are in this examples, our sales data containing 10,000 records. We want to condense these 10,000 data or summarizing this 10,000 data. We are using a contingency tables. A contingency table shows the distribution of a variable in rows and another in its column. Okay, that is completely, it is summarizing the data or summarizing or condensing the data. For that, we are using the contingency table. It's an important question. What is a contingency table in R programming? Sometimes it's asking for a short question. So contingency tables are very useful to condense large number of observations. A large number of observation can be summarized by using contingency tables. Here in one example is shown here. The following are called build a contingency table based on sales gender and sales spender factor. Okay, based on gender and spender factor, we can create a small condensing table from our original data. So for that, we are using a code like this. A sales table object equal to table of sales dollar symbol gender, comma, sales dollar symbol spender. That means it creates a small table based on gender and spender factor. How many are spending? Okay, suppose we are printing that table. It look like this. Female and male having a spender factor. Small, how many count are small, medium, big. A small table. Okay, our sales data contain 10,000 records. In that 10,000 records, we have to extract a small table. That is shown in this example. That is a few single table based on a gender type and spender factor. We are extracting a small table. That is male and female, small, medium, big. Based on that relationship, we are extracting a small table from our big data. That is big data means our big sale data. Is it clear? Is it clear, everybody?
Clear ആണ് മെസ്സേജ് അയക്കുന്നുണ്ട്.
ക്ലിയർ ആണോ? ഇതുവരെ പറഞ്ഞത് ക്ലിയർ ആണോ?
ക്ലിയർ ആണ്.
Okay. Next is another topic, descriptive statistics. Descriptive statistics means, okay, suppose we are having a large type of data. Okay, from that data we have to find some of the covariance relationship, mean, median, range, standard deviation, variance, etc. We are using some descriptive statistics. This is another important question. It is asked in the previous examination question paper also. Descriptive statistics. Okay, very important question. Some common R functions that include descriptive statistics are listed over here from with the help of some example. Okay, first we have to simplify the function called assign x equal to sales total. That means from our sales data, sale total is assigned to a variable x and number of orders are assigned to a variable y. Okay, these two variables from x and y, we have to find some relationship. So that we are using some descriptive statistics function that are listed over here. This is an important question. Okay, so x containing sales total and y containing number of orders. And from these two variables, we have to find some relationship between these two variables. For that, first function we are using is a COR, core of xy. That means correlation of this x and y. X contains sales total and y contains number of record. Correlation of x and y function return, so score of xy return correlation of x and y, and its value 0.757. A large number of values, from that values it simply returns this correlation value. Suppose if you want to find the covariance, okay, covariance, we can use the function covariance of x and y. Okay, വലിയ calculations ചെയ്തില്ലേ, ഈ വലിയ calculation പകരം simply നമുക്കൊരു രണ്ട് ടേബിളിലെ രണ്ട് വാല്യൂസിന്റെ കോവേരിയൻസ് കാണാനായിട്ട് just we have to put the function covariance of x and y. It returns the value. Then similarly IQR means interquartile range. Okay, IQR of x gives the interquartile range of x. Next, suppose if you want to find a mean using the function mean of x. If you want to find median, you can use median of x. Range of x. Standard deviation using the function SD of x. Variance, you can use the function variance of x. Okay, these are the some descriptive statistics used in our program. Some of the important descriptive statistics are listed over here. This is an important question. It is asked in the exam previous year question paper also. Okay, descriptive statistics functions. Okay, clear? Is it clear? Okay, next is an exploratory data analysis that can be taken in the next class.
Thank you, Miss.
ഇതുവരെ പറഞ്ഞത് മനസ്സിലായോ?
Yes, Miss.
സിമ്പിൾ കാര്യങ്ങളെ പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുള്ളൂ.